charts. It's
For
relatable.
clinical numbers on a page.
Exactly. But we have a source today from Mohammed Raj Abdullah that basically says, stop looking at the math. Look at the morality.
It's a short text, but it really lands a punch. He's not just arguing that inequality is an unfortunate side effect of capitalism.
Right.
He's arguing that inequality is a crime scene.
That's the core hook, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He used this specific phrase, inequality is the proof that corruption took place in the past and present.
Right. Which totally inverts how we usually think about it.
It does. We tend to think, okay, maybe corruption leads to inequality. He's saying, no, the gap itself, its mere existence, is the evidence.
And we should probably be clear about what he means by corruption. He's not really talking about, wire fraud or bribing an official.
He's digging deeper.
It's much deeper, into human psychology. He identifies what he calls negative nature factors.
Which is a fascinating term.
It is. He specifically names greed and arrogance. His argument is that you simply cannot have a world where billions of dollars sit in bank vaults
While other people starve.
unless those two traits are fundamentally driving the system. It's not a logistical failure, it's a character failure.
And he makes that so vivid with the visual contrast he paints. On one side, you have the vaults and banks, and on the other, he points directly to children dying of starvation. And he doesn't just leave starvation as an abstract idea, does he?
No, not at all. He grounds it. He lists specific regions: Africa, India, Sudan, and Palestine.
Right.
By naming them, he's forcing you, the reader, to acknowledge that this isn't some theoretical exercise. These are real places.
And this proof of corruption is visible right now.
Which leads to that central, just devastating question he poses.
How is it okay to have billions in your vaults, but children are dying? I mean, it seems so simple, but it just cuts through all the economic justifications we hide behind.
It does. It removes the complexity of market forces
Right.
and just boils it down to a moral binary.
And this is where the text pivots to its most, profound point.
Or perhaps its most controversial one. He connects this moral failure to a spiritual void.
This is the part that really stood out to me. He says, if you forget Islam, you forget your humanity, morality. Now, obviously, he's writing from a very specific Islamic perspective, but for any listener, how should we sort of interpret that connection?
Well, I think whether you share that specific faith or not, the structural argument he's making is that ethics don't just exist in a vacuum.
Right. They have to come from somewhere.
Exactly. Abdullah is suggesting that the only thing that really checks that raw greed and arrogance is some form of higher spiritual accountability. For him, forgetting that spiritual foundation, specifically Islamic principles, is what allows a human to be okay with hoarding wealth while a child starves.
So the corruption he's describing isn't just about money. It's a corruption of the soul.
Yes. He's diagnosing the global economy as suffering from a form of spiritual amnesia.
And if you remember your humanity, as he puts it, the inequality becomes impossible to tolerate.
The very fact that we do tolerate it is, for him, the proof that we've forgotten.
That's a heavy diagnosis. It completely reframes the news we see every day. Instead of seeing a GDP chart, he wants us to see a moral scorecard that we are absolutely failing.
It leaves us in a very challenging spot. I mean, if we accept his premise,
That inequality is definitive proof of corruption.
passivity isn't really an option. You can't just be an observer of a crime scene.
And that's the thought I want to leave you with. If Abdullah's right, and this gap between the billionaires and the starving is open evidence of a moral crime, then what does our silence say about us?
That's the question.
Thanks for exploring this with us. We'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.